Hey Virgo, March is a very interesting month for you. Not only are we in the season of your opposite sign Pisces, we actually have a full moon in Virgo in your sign on March 18th. So March is really shaping up to be quite an impactful and interesting month for you, especially for your relationships. Before we dive too far into that, however, I just want to thank all of you who have supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes, especially this last month. I'm grateful to have all of you on board here. I do have all of my links in the description box down below if you're looking for a reading or Reiki session with me, and you can now actually also support me on Patreon, where I'm offering exclusive benefits such as access to my astrology notes that I use for all 12 of these videos, kind of like a horoscope for all 12 signs, with some other benefits like exclusive live streams and things like that. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, definitely check the links in the description box down below. Anyway, Virgo, I have your cards already on the table, and I'm very interested to break this down, and I think I'm going to pull a few more. The first card I actually pulled was the Devil, and this was showing up for the past. Some of you have been doing your shadow work. Some of you have been really working through your fears or your limitations, really, analyzing things and trying to break yourself free from patterns that are no longer serving you. What's really interesting to me about this sort of energy, however, is that we have kind of a repeating theme in the rest of your reading. Afterwards, I got the Three of Wands with the Page of Wands. And then that led into the Three of Cups and the Page of Cups. So we have 3, 3, and then 2 pages. There is this weird thing where I'm wondering if there are patterns that are repeating themselves this month. I could also potentially see this as you and another person being on parallel paths. So I'm going to kind of break this down in a moment, but I'm going to give you this card by card. So with the Devil card, again, there's been a lot of focus on you liberating yourself and you really working through fears and maybe some habits that aren't serving you anymore. And I think through this work and effort, we have the Three of Wands. You do feel that there is a change coming. There is a new course or direction that you are excited about. I'm actually kind of feeling you are this Page of Wands, interestingly enough. It feels like you are working on something that is making you feel really, really good. And I'm really curious to hear about this. I know we've had Saturn, which is the Devil energy, in Aquarius. Aquarius represents your 6th house, your house of work, routines, habits, things kind of happening behind the scenes in your life, which is actually where Virgo is very comfortable. I feel like there's been some sort of plotting or something that you have been anticipating, and it feels like March could be a month where something is finally taking hold or you're finally taking action on something that you've been planning. Maybe you've been waiting for something and you're realizing that if something is going to change in your life, you have to be the one to make action. You have to take a step forward or have some sort of initiative in your life. And maybe that's how you are freeing yourself from this Devil energy from the past. You're no longer waiting for something to come to you. You are now taking the initiative, or you are putting yourself out into the world. And interestingly enough, the Three of Cups actually kind of showed up as a challenge, which is you connecting with other people. And there may be other people that you are having a hard time relating with, or maybe you're feeling introverted and not necessarily wanting to connect with people this month. I know as Virgos, we tend to be more on the introverted side, so that could very well be how this energy is playing out. I know on March 2nd, which is the same day as the new moon in Pisces, we also have Mercury, your ruling planet, and Saturn coming together in the sign of Aquarius. This really is a good day to get serious about something. It's a good day to really commit to your ideas and take actions on things. Very much about long-term planning with this energy. And especially with this new moon, it is a good time to plant seeds and set intentions along with taking actions on your plans, or really taking some sort of commitment, or showing some sort of commitment towards your plans or communications. This new moon is actually a good time for you to also, work with manifesting partnership, if that is something that you want. And that can be romantic partnerships, that can be business partnerships, that can be sharing your life with anyone in any sort of capacity. So let's not limit ourselves here. But I do get the sense for you, there really is this romantic poetic kind of vibe. We have Neptune and Jupiter very much playing strong notes this month as well. Neptune, especially with this new moon, you could actually be feeling very intuitive and connected to other people right at the beginning of this month. And with Mercury in Aquarius until the 9th, there is a lot where you're kind of behind the scenes and working on things and maybe taking care of your health as well. And that could be addressing your mental health for some of you. Some of you are really addressing your mental health. And part of the Three of Cups is you figuring out how to be happy. That's why this card is showing up as a challenge. The Three of Cups can represent happiness, joy, and celebrations. And I know that's been very challenging. And that might be challenging for part of the month for March. I know that Mercury does actually enter into Pisces on the 9th. And this is very interesting because Mercury is actually in its fall in the sign of Pisces. It's not very comfortable there. Mercury is actually exalted in your sign. Things are very clear. It has all the details in order. When it's in when Mercury is in Pisces, I should say, it's very foggy. It's very intuitive. Things don't necessarily make sense right away. And that's why you kind of have to follow your intuition here as this Page of Cups. Things aren't going to make sense, and you're going to kind of just have to go with the flow this month. And that's a little challenging potentially, because I see some of you really wanting to come out of the gate full force here, but there is still this need to also be adaptable and to be able to flex and change and pivot. And that's actually not so hard for you, Virgo. You are mutable Earth. Even though Earth as an element is not necessarily something we would consider changeable, with Virgo, it almost becomes like sand or very supple soil that we can shape and change. So there is this tendency for you to be able to adjust to things, to become one with your environment. I also think of Virgo like clay, because you are mutable Earth. You are changing Earth, and you are able to adapt to many situations. But I still think to flow like water here, to go with the flow, this is very, very important for you this month. And I do feel like there could actually be a partnership or commitment, or perhaps a new person coming into your life with this Page of Cups as well. And it's kind of interesting because I see, like, with the Three of Wands kind of facing, or I'm sorry, the Page of Wands facing this Three of Wands, they're both kind of in the same direction here. I'm also noticing the Three of Cups and the Page of Cups on the table. It's like the Three of Cups is trying to offer something to this page, and just no one's paying attention, or this Page of Wands isn't paying attention. You're so focused on something else, you might not necessarily notice that someone is interested in you, and this could be in your friends or friendship circles. This could be a friend, it could be someone your friends know, perhaps. Doesn't have to be. I just feel like you're very determined. You're very forward focused in March, or you're trying to be. And it might feel like other people are a bit of a distraction this month as well, but it's important that you do remain connected, that you do maintain a good work-life balance this month. And really continue to follow your intuition as well. And also thinking about this full moon in Virgo in your sign this month. This happens like in the middle of March on the 18th. This really could be firing you up, because this does represent a peak of energy for you. This is also a great time to cast a beauty or love spell on yourself, and specifically on yourself, not on another person. This is all about you, this full moon, and really basking in this energy. Many witches and magical practitioners talk about the full moons being a good time for love spells or beauty spells. And I think when it's in your sign or your opposite sign especially, this really can help you get that glow to draw people in, or to just love yourself. Maybe this Page of Cups represents self-love. Maybe you're learning to love yourself this month. And that could be both, that could be kind of a dual message. Maybe this is someone else who's interested in you, but you're also committed to loving yourself this month. I want to pull some more cards here. I do want to, again, stress, you're very intuitive by the end of this month with the Page of Cups. You're receiving a lot of intuitive hits. You're very aligned with energies, or it's very easy to align yourself with energies. And that's usually challenging for you, but I think you're actually learning how to pivot by the end of this month with it. Mercury is going to be forming a conjunction with Pisces, or Jupiter in Pisces on the 21st, and then Mercury will conjunct Neptune in Pisces on the 23rd. So there really is this very intuitive and lucky energy, perhaps. There really could be like a lucky break happening here, but you need to follow your intuition. Again, things probably aren't going to make sense right away. You just have to trust in the feelings and impressions you are getting. What do we have here? Show me clearly. What do we have for Pisces? Or for Virgo with this Pisces energy? Aha! The High Priestess is clarifying the Page of Cups. Really trust your intuition, especially in regards to the people around you. You are very sensitive to other people's energy this month. You might even need to give yourself some space from other people. What is this High Priestess sensing? Why is the High Priestess here? A lot of cards just coming out in blocks here. Show me clearly. Maybe it does feel like there's just a lot of energy coming at you at once. Show me clearly. The Sun. There's a lot of clarity, a lot of creativity, some new beginnings here as well, new life. Your intuition is really trying to guide you into your happiness, or into something that feels very aligned with your soul. And it's interesting because I know when when Mercury enters into Aries, it feels very much like going through the closet. Maybe you are revealing things with the Sun, shining a light on things that are usually kept hidden, or things you have kept hidden or secret from yourself or other people. That's because Aries represents your 8th house, the house of the things we keep to ourselves. So that involves things like finances and investments. It involves things like sexuality, the occult, anything that we could consider secret. And also things that pertain to other people's money. So that involves debts, that involves taxes as well. But I'm really getting more of a metaphysical bent for this, or more emotional or spiritual bent to this, to be honest, especially with the High Priestess and Page of Cups here. It feels like Mercury entering into Aries this month is very much about you exploring the shadows, really shining a light on things that have been kept hidden. You're seeing things or sensing things, and other people might not understand or believe you right now. And you kind of just need to trust your gut with the Page of Wands, because you're seeing something that other people aren't, or you're sensing things other people aren't. And there might even be other people who are trying to tell you, no, that's not true. I don't see that happening. Where are you getting that idea from? Maybe that's what the 3 of Cups represents. And also just thinking with Mercury entering into Aries on the 27th, Mercury is no longer going to be in Pisces. It's no longer going to be in its fall. So this could really be a time where things become much clearer. Or there's revelations that take place here, especially since the Sun will already be in Aries. The Sun enters Aries on the 20th. And you're kind of this force to be reckoned with. I'm getting this sense. Is there anything else we have for Virgo? Any other messages? Ace of Pentacles. There could be a commitment a long-term commitment of some kind or some sort of contract perhaps. I'm actually feeling like as we are getting more into Aries season, there's something about you, maybe this is something to do with an investment, but I feel like there's something material or financial. This could be involving new work or a new home. This could also potentially be a committed relationship as well. But whatever it is, there is this new beginning for something that is long term. There is a long term offer coming by the end of March, or there is something that has taken a long time to blossom in your life that is finally coming to fruition. And I'm looking at the bottom of the deck here, the 10 of Cups. I'm going to tell you now, and I've been telling you this kind of all year ago, this really is the year for you to manifest the relationship of your dreams. This really is the time for that because we have Jupiter and Neptune in your opposite sign. You might even be a little bit too romantic or idealistic at times this year, especially around April 12th when Neptune and Jupiter come together in conjunction in Pisces. But this actually could be a beautiful time to manifest relationships and partnerships. And I think you're beginning to do that this month. Or this is a very good month to do that, I should say, especially on the 2nd, where we have the new moon in Pisces. But it feels very good to me. The energy still feels really positive, which is honestly kind of interesting with everything going on. It feels like you're still finding something or finding things to be happy about or finding stability. And if you are going through a hard time with the devil in the past here, I feel like you are soon to overcome these challenges. You're coming out of a hard time if you haven't already. And you're also breaking old patterns and habits, and I think especially in relationships. And I feel like there's kind of this parallel journey again between you and another person. So you might feel like you're a mirror of someone else, or someone else is mirroring your energy too. So I'm going to pull an animal card for you just to kind of wrap things up, Virgo. What is the animal energy that Virgo should embody for the month of March? Show us clearly, please. What is the animal energy? Show us clearly, please. Show us clearly, please. What is the animal energy for Virgo to embody? Kind of feels like a shapeshifter energy, actually, which is kind of interesting because, again, your ruling planet Mercury is going through 3 signs this month. It's going to be in Aquarius, it's going to be entering Pisces on the 9th, and then Aries on the 27th. So it might feel like 3 months in one. This month could feel like there's a lot going on, to be honest with you. I have the vulture here. Something I also want to speak to that I didn't necessarily fully explore with Mercury entering your 8th house, you could be feeling very connected to the dead or to spirits who are non-physical. There could be something with mediumship. I potentially get that with vulture. I feel like there is something that is being cleansed, something that is being purged, because vulture is about finding nourishment, finding new life in a situation that is lost, or in something that has been discarded. You are healing something, you're regenerating something, you're making new life, and this very much reminds me of the devil. You are finding the silver linings in certain situations, and you are extracting the lessons from your losses. And vulture is a great energy to help you do this and to connect with if you are having a hard time doing that in your life. I feel like there's one more animal energy. What is the other animal energy for Virgo? Can you show us, please? And again, you know, with Mercury in Aquarius for the first 9 days of the month, you could be very focused on health. I actually do think of vulture very much like Virgo, because vulture has a very important job in the ecosystem. It takes materials that have fallen or that need to be digested. It makes use of what can be used and discards the rest. And that is very much what Virgo does in the zodiac. Virgo rules over the intestines. We are literally digesting things and synthesizing things and or figuring out what is useful and what should be discarded. And that is very similar to this vulture energy. And we have the butterfly. Oh, this is beautiful. The butterfly does represent a transformation, especially of the heart. Very often this does signify changes in your love life or changes with something that is close to you. I do feel like this is actually you spreading your wings, opening up to love, opening up to other people, or maybe, you know, just bearing your heart to someone. If you are in a relationship, maybe you feel like you've had a hard time expressing yourself. And I feel like this is the time to do it, even if it feels vulnerable. I always think of the butterflies in Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii for a couple of months several years back. And I was always blown away how these little wings were able to fly with these violent winds, sometimes reaching like 50 miles per hour. And they would just keep afloat. And it really was this symbol for this gentle strength of the butterfly. And I feel like you are coming into this very kind of surprising amount of power yourself. I feel like you are a force to be reckoned with, but it's not because you're physically imposing or you're threatening to anyone. It's because you have so much grace. And that's the thing that kind of puts people aback a bit. But I see beautiful transformations and synthesis as well with these two. So don't be afraid to spread your wings. We have two air cards here with butterfly and vulture, with these alchemical symbols for air. So there is a lot of communication and relating to people and a lot of ideas. And pay attention to your intuition. Pay attention to the impressions that come to your mind. Anyways, Virgo, I think that about covers it. I do hope that that was helpful for you. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what it is you're taking action on. I remember this kind of being a theme in the last month's reading, so it feels very much in tandem with that. Again, I have links for personal readings and Reiki sessions and my Patreon if you feel so called to support me on there. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Virgo.